time as well. So just to move on then, when it comes to fat loss, in particular, like I said earlier, in individuals who have muscle, but even for anyone who's even just started as well, it's a bit more nuanced than simply calorie deficit. Now, I see this throughout the industry, and I'm not disagreeing with it, because at the end of the day, it is the fundamental law behind fat loss. It is calorie deficit at the end of the day. But people throw it around like calorie deficit, that's it, And they're right, it is calorie deficit, but that's like the foundation. There's more to it than that. Just don't simply say calorie deficit. You know, you can't just say, right, how do you lose weight or fat? How do you lose fat? And coach just says calorie deficit. It is so much more nuanced than that. There's so much more to it than that. Particularly when it comes to individuals who maybe have a bit of a training experience and have an appreciable amount of muscle, there is a bit more that goes into it than simply saying calorie deficit. Because my approach when it comes to training is someone who has a lot of muscle and wants to engage in a lean sort of like a cutting phase, but they don't want to cut too much that they're gonna perhaps lose muscle. There's a lot that goes into that, rather than say, for example, someone who's maybe obese or overweight and simply just needs to maybe cut calories, not drastically, but cut them, and maybe not worry so much about trying to maintain lean mass. They simply need to just get their weight down. But I think I would probably implement with people who are maybe, you know, a wee bit, a tiny bit higher in the body fat, quite close to being very lean, even towards being shredded. Maybe for guys, if they're at that 15%, you know, mark, or maybe even if they're 12%, but they want to get down to 10% or lower. I think one of the key ways of doing that is obviously all the things I've just stated before this point, but also taking a nuanced approach and taking a more sustainable approach, where I am an advocate of diet breaks. The leaner you get, the more hunger you're going to experience, your appetite. It's your body will fight you trying to get down to sub 10% body fat for a guy, sub 15% body fat for a girl. Your body will fight tooth and nail because it doesn't really want to be there. It's part of a survival mechanism that goes back to our evolutionary past, where during times of famine, the people who were the leanest, the people who were the most shredded, they would have died out very quickly, because they simply didn't have enough body fat in order to provide them with energy. So that's why it's very difficult for some people perhaps to get really lean. Others, it's a wee bit more easier due to genetics and stuff like that. But most people can get very, very ripped, even shredded. But it takes, again, it's harder for some, easier for others. It does take a bit of work and nuance in the approach. So the diet break, for instance, could be 3 weeks of hard dieting followed by a week break from the diet, where you probably just go to maintenance calories, maybe even a slight wee surplus, to help your body physiologically recover, particularly from workouts as well. You know, you can almost time it up with your strength training program. So, you know, maybe for instance you could, for the first 3 weeks of your mesocycle, which is I've touched on this before, a mesocycle is a training cycle, which is 4 weeks. The first 3 weeks of your mesocycle you could diet hard, train hard, of course. The 4th week, which is the week you probably take a deload, you could take a diet break also and have a bit more food, ensure you have enough protein as well, and allow your body to recover physiologically as well, and, you know, repair itself before you engage in another mesocycle and start training hard and dieting hard again. And I feel that approach could be a lot more user-friendly and a lot more sustainable. So, again, just to recap, my top 5 tips for ensuring that you not only achieve fat loss, but you also maintain it and you minimize the loss of muscle, is that take a sensible approach. So don't be going in balls to the wall, overzealous. You have to sort of see this as a long game, unless of course you are preparing for a competition. If you're a bodybuilder, if you're cutting weight for a sport, if you do maybe combat sports, that's different. But for the most part, take a sensible approach that's flexible as well, because that will ensure that you adhere to it for the long run. Again, for the most part, unless it's for a competition, in particular bodybuilding, don't be getting too lean. Don't get excessively lean unless you really, really want to, because it will be very difficult to maintain, say, 8%, even 6% body fat. Particularly once you get below 8% body fat, that's extremely difficult to maintain. I have got I myself have gotten to maybe 8% or less and maintained this for a period. In the past, I think I do have a more higher, sorry, a lower body fat standpoint, so I can walk around maybe 10%, maybe slightly less all year round, as long as I'm tight with my diet. But not everybody is able to do that, unfortunately, so you have to sort of ask yourself, do you really want to get shredded? And maybe if you want to get shredded for a one-off event, like a holiday, your wedding, whatever it may be, that's absolutely fine, because it is for a one-off event and you can certainly do that. And I certainly wouldn't have a problem coaching someone and help them achieve that particular goal. Again, another thing I didn't touch on was avoid excessive amounts of cardio. There's really no need to be doing like 20 miles of running every week, unless you're a runner and that's your goal on your sport. Do the minimum effective volume, do what is gonna get, or the minimum effective dose. So do enough that will ensure you have a healthy cardiovascular system, and do enough that will benefit you and augment your fat loss. Again, a thing I didn't touch on as well, I have used this in the past, I am a fan of fasted cardio in the morning. Now, this is probably at times a contentious and controversial topic, but I do believe there is merit behind it, and I do believe you can get a little bit extra fat loss with that method. Again, it's not magic. It is absolutely not magic at all. Fasting itself is not magic, but I do believe it can help a lot of people, and it can suit people's lifestyles as well. And the big thing is, if you can make it part of your lifestyle and it's convenient for you, fucking do it. So again, the last point is, and the most important point, probably this underpins everything. This underpins everything, and it's the foundation behind everything when it comes to achieving fat loss and maintaining your muscle and building more muscle, and it's doing strength training. I can't emphasize that enough. Strength training, and I'm biased because I love strength training. It is my bread and butter. But honestly, and if anyone disagrees with me, you can comment under this video or you can message me in direct message. But I do believe that strength training is the best method or modality to getting lean and obviously building muscle, but getting lean, burning body fat and maintaining it. Because if you only done cardio, you could maybe lose body fat, but trust me, if you only do cardio, your results will be inferior compared to doing strength training coupled with cardio. Even strength training on its own, you could achieve quite substantial fat loss. Now, would it be better than, say, strength training coupled with cardio? Maybe not. And then you lose the benefits of doing cardiovascular training for your heart. But listen, strength training, particularly for girls as well, watching this, strength training will get you in the best shape of your life. I don't give a damn what anyone else says. It is, you can go and fucking do your runs till the cows come home. Trust me, strength training, rigorous strength training done consistently year after year after year is the #1 way of fucking getting in shape and staying in shape, and that's simply it. Thanks for watching, appreciate and love you all.